I think this is going to be one of those episodes where I'm going to say this just for kicks, but where I inadvertently learn more than I thought that I was going to learn. I grew up in West Trinidad. I went to St. Anthony's College, and very often we would go to the back of the field, and we had some benches, concrete benches that were broken apart and like laying flat on the ground, and we would lift up those concrete benches, or the pieces of the concrete benches, and underneath we would capture the scurrying, what I'm going to call it, which may be a wrong classification, a wrong name, is a rainbow boa. Is that correct?
It can be, because those are some of the places that you would find them. They tend to live around farms, structures, anywhere that has high rodent traffic. So I was not there, so I can't identify for you, but it is possible that this was one of these.
This is also 20-something years ago. But yes, but it's great to have you on. We actually met. I walked into your store. Right. I was very interested in the stuff that you had, and because I saw it in the window, the show windows. Right. And then we got to talking, and you got to kind of introduce yourself. So I would love for you to do that now for our viewers, and let's get into this conversation about
who I am,
all of these stuff, or who you are and what you do.
No problem. So good day. My name is Oneil Daniel. My TikTok and Instagram name is Snake Whisperer TT. I am a self-taught herpetologist and tour guide. I carry people on tours, hikes, camping trips, anything to do with the outdoors. I am here today to learn as much as I am here to teach, because this is my first time in this setup.
Nice.
I feel famous.
Nice. Good to have you. Definitely.
So yeah, we chopped it up like just two regular people, and then we found out that we had a lot of similar interests.
Yeah.
I did not know that you looked for snakes. That's
that is the extent. I'll be honest. That is the extent of my snake experience. Is picking up these tiny little snakes in the back of school in St. Anthony's. But I guess I want to start by an overarching question, something that I think that people wouldn't necessarily think about off the bat, but it's going to be a common theme. Do we have any endangered species in Trinidad? I'm sure that I've heard of the turtles and stuff like that, but do we have endangered species in Trinidad?
It's funny that you ask. We do. We have an endemic bird, so you could only find it here. There are other species and suborders of the bird, so that's the piping guan or the pawi. We actually have in my village. You can find them in places like Blanchisseries. You could find them in Madamas. You could find them in Grand Riviere. You can find them in the village of Avoca. They are a very pretty and intelligent bird. Like I've had, this is a funny story. I went on a hike to Avoca Waterfall one time, and there were two, a male and a female. And I could imagine them having a conversation like people. He was like, "You want to see something cool?" And he flew down from the branches that he was on. He left her up there, perched. She was watching him. He came down onto the lowest branch. He watched me, took a poop on me, went back up to her. See what I did there? And he stunted on me. So I believe that I would have helped him grab a chance.
Wingman.
Yeah.
The first.
I took it.
You wingman for the bird. What is the name of the bird again? Because I'm going to Google this after the fact.
Piping guan.
The piping guan is the official name.
The official name, but it's called the pawi.
The pawi.
Yes. Sir.
What color is it? Is it a big bird?
It is. Imagine a peacock without the feathers out on elaborate.
Is it that big?
It's about this tall.
Oh, it's a huge bird.
Yeah, it's a huge bird. You will hear it flapping. Like if you were in the forest, you would hear it flapping.
And is it endangered because of
of us?
Because
of us, because we eat. It's people hunt it for its meat. Yeah.
Wow. Would that be classified as kind of like a wild meat bird?
You can get jailed. Actually,
it's
protected.
Because I know there's a lot of things. There's seasons you can't necessarily hunt certain things.
You can't hunt this at all.
Right.
If you're caught with the feathers, caught with any paraphernalia surrounding the species, you can get fined.
Well, I hope that we have those things in place for the sake of the piping guan. And what else?
I believe the scarlet ibis was on the watch list, and a few of the sea turtles that we have here.
But no snakes, no lizards, those things wouldn't.
Snakes, no lizards, to my knowledge.
Right.
Because I don't want somebody freeze me.
No, of course.
Yeah. But to my knowledge, I don't think any of the snakes or the golden tree frog. The golden tree frog is on the endangered list.
We have the golden tree frog
We have
here.
the golden tree frog.
Is that one of them that is poisonous?
No, I do not believe. So the crapo, the cane toad, is poisonous.
Right.
That is the milk secretions
Yeah.
you see on the back. But other than that, no, we don't have any like the poison dart frogs. We don't have
Right.
any like that.
Thank God. But the golden tree frog, it's the one that is, it's very,
Very tiny.
and it's very pretty. It's like,
Very
it's
pretty,
literally
like a
golden.
gem, yes, it's
right.
like a gem.
And the skin is pretty smooth and
Very smooth. And
that's-
he's very docile. You could deal with them. They're not very skittish because where they live, not many see human beings.
right.
They're very hard to find because they're so tiny. Like you will search your whole life and you could probably pass tens, hundreds, and you'd never know because they're that small.
Wow. All right. Well, let's get into, I guess, your area of expertise, which would be the snakes. What? I guess we have, which I know, we have venomous snakes in
Yes, we do.
Trinidad, and I guess I'm going to be a little, worried after this conversation a little bit. Hopefully, your education will calm me down. But how many venomous snakes do we have in Trinidad, and how prevalent are those snakes?
All right, so that's a two-part answer question. So there is either you hunt by ambush or constriction, you hunt by holding your prey down, or you hunt by means of venom, envenomating your prey. So the question you want to ask is how many highly venomous snakes it has in Trinidad? Because we have a lot of venomous snakes in Trinidad, meaning they hunt their prey with means of venom. So highly venomous would be the big four. The Mapapi balsane, which is the Furtherlands, the Mapapi zananan, which is the Bushmaster, then you have the neotropical coral snake, which is the ribbon coral, red, white, and black, and then there is the big coral. So 4, 2 corals, 2 vipers. Then the horsewhip is venomous. He hunts lizards by paralyzing them. The ratanel is venomous. I believe the cribos, the 2 snakes that eat Mapapi, they are also venomous. That's it from the Laura, which is the parrot snake. That is also venomous to an extent. But they cannot harm humans because I've been bitten by them multiple times. Never had an issue, not even a scratch, not a cough, not a hiccup.
So the four big ones would be the ones that I guess we would more have to be
Wary of.
not necessarily concerned, because snakes don't like people.
They do not. Most animals don't like. I don't like people. Yeah. Snakes typically tend to stick to where there is food. If there is a huge food source, you'd find them. They are not like us. Oh, that's a building. People inside. They follow scent. They're highly food motivated, so they would just follow their prey until they catch it. And then when they eat and they fall, oh, I'm inside a house. That's kind of how it goes.
So that's how they end up. But do they ever search for shelter? I mean, is this something, where a lot of times you see snakes? I mean, I see them online, the videos online of snakes, and whether it's India or Indonesia or wherever the place is, kind of forested areas where the snakes get in, these large anaconda type boas get in, or pythons get into houses or whatever the case is.
Well, those that get into houses are in search of food. So dogs, cats, livestock, they would follow it. And because, so you know how they say snakes are cold-blooded? It's not that their blood is cold. They are whatever temperature their surroundings is.
Right.
And sometimes outside does become too cold for them. So they would find human infrastructure because it holds the heat well. And it's sheltered, it's safe, and food is in abundance. So they would find themselves in that kind of situation.
So do we, this is a question that I've heard the answers yes and no from my whole life. Do we have anacondas in Trinidad?
We do.
Right.
We have a lot.
We have a lot.
We have a lot.
And what's the biggest anaconda? Because they're making over the movie Anaconda.
Right.
What's the biggest anaconda that we've ever had here? Or is that the biggest snake to even ask that question about?
So there is the longest snake and the biggest snake.
Biggest snake would be like the
Girth,
right.
weight. So girth and weight, anaconda. The green anaconda, because there's 2 species. There's the yellow and the green.
Right.
We are more common with the green. There are anacondas in the Caroni swamps. There are anacondas in the Arena Dam, so Komoto area, surrounding Komoto, and in Mayaro, in the Mang.
Right.
So those are the three places that I've positively seen anacondas in Trinidad.
And how big are they? Or how big? I know they can get pretty big, but in Trinidad, how big are they?
So the biggest that I've ever seen was one that was born in the wild and lives in captivity now.
Right.
So they would have found it as a baby, and he is well over 15 feet
15 feet.
15
This is a green anaconda.
green anaconda, and they could get longer
And 15
heavier.
feet, I mean, this thing is, how much would that weigh?
That would weigh nearly or over 200 pounds. Yeah.
So that snake could take me.
That snake could kill you, but not eat you. Your shoulders are a bit broad.
Oh, excellent. That's good. I'm happy for my broad shoulders if that's the case.
Yeah.
But if one of those, if a 15-foot green anaconda were to wrap around me with no protective suit
You'd
or
die.
anything, that thing could crush me and suffocate me.
Horrible death.
That sounds
Your
horrible.
blood vessels would burst, your nose and stuff would bleed, your eardrums would rupture, your bones would break. And that is every time you exhale. So every time you release air, he will squeeze because he'll feel it.
Wow.
So every time air escapes you, he will tighten and tighten and tighten.
I mean, this is instinct and evolution.
Extinct and evolution. They are apex. Once they get to a certain size, there's literally nothing that can kill them other than old age or drying out in the sun.
Or I guess human intervention
Or
with some sort of
human
weapon or
intervention.
something like that.
Exactly.
Because there was I mean, you may call BS on these types of stunts, but there was a guy who wanted to get swallowed by a snake, and they put him in like this plastic suit
I would have seen that.
with
Yeah.
things on, and he wanted to get swallowed whole by a snake, and I think he got like partway swallowed, and then he freaked out. I actually don't know, but
I would not want to experience anything like that because when you learn what these creatures are capable of, what they battle in the wild, what they're capable to do on their own, because snakes aren't like us. We give birth, we nurture young until the ripe age of 18. Snakes don't do that. They, from the time they're born, they're out there. Instinct, evolution, just roughing it out until adulthood. So I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend that. Put a camera on a rabbit. Feed the rabbit. Don't do that yourself.
and is that what these green anacondas in the wild? Is that what they would eat? I mean, small rodents, birds, all of the above.
So, depending on their size, their diet changes. They love to eat caiman, crocodiles, capybara. They love capybara. They would attack anything that they deem worthy of a meal. So they are mostly ambush predators. They would wait at the water edge. They would wait under the water. They would be up in trees. As juveniles, they climb a lot. They try to stay away from the forest floor because you're in competition with a lot of other apex predators, depending on where you are in the world. Trinidad, we don't really have anything that
As many.
hunt them.
Right.
But in Guyana, jaguars hunt them. Caiman eat the babies. So they tend to stay where their camouflage would work to their advantage.
And what's their strike? You said they wait by the water's edge, or they wait up in the tree. Is it that they strike, get a hold of, and then constrict?
Yes.
Because I can't imagine a snake
So
that
they're-
large would launch.
Yeah, they launch a pretty well distance, and they launch with a lot of force. It's like being hit
Right.
with something, a blunt object. So it could leave a bruise, the force that it hits you with. But that's not the scary part. The scary part is their teeth. They have 2 sets of teeth, all backward facing,
Right.
and they're about this long. So when that gets onto you, even if they miss and they capture your clothes, they would hook into your clothes. And unless you go forward to release the teeth, they are just going to keep pulling and pulling and pulling.
Right.
So it's a sure death if you are caught by yourself with one of these things, because you cannot play tug of war with something that is pure muscle. You can't win. Evolution designed them to have the upper hand because you already have no arms, no legs. So whatever you do, you have to be successful because you have to eat. You can't just grab something. You have to know that all of your organic tools are working for you.
And And I mean, we're talking about something like the anaconda, and I'm sure that we have other pythons. But going back to the venomous snakes, which one of the four do you not want to run into? My answer is all four. But which one of the four do you not want to run into? And if you do run into one of these snakes, I mean, I was hearing people talking about how they, you were talking about earlier, how the farmers or the beekeepers,
Right.
there's so many of them that they end up like kind of stepping over them to get through the paths or whatever. That's probably not advisable. But what do you do if you come in contact with a snake that's coiled up in the middle of a trail or just off of a trail? I mean, what's the best thing to do?
So, if you're asking me as a regular civilian,
Yes, somebody who does not have the skills that you have.
right, you leave the snake alone. If it's possible and this path is the only way that you could get from where you're going, meaning you can't pass around, you can't do anything else to deviate, and you have to remove the snake, you cut a long, sturdy piece of wood and you gently nudge the snake, either wake it up, because 9 times out of 10, when you see a snake laying down, it's asleep. Unless the head is up and the tongue is flicking, you can't tell because they have no eyelids. You can't say, well, he's asleep because his eyes is closed.
Right.
You wouldn't know. Unless his tongue isn't flicking at all, he's 9 times out of 10 asleep. If he's basking, he would more than likely stretch out to get as much rays as sun.
Right.
You raise him or you nudge him gently awake so that he would continue on his way. Because they don't want to be there. They don't want to
Interact with you.
interact with you.
Is
They
it?
would rather
But
not.
is there a situation? I mean, this is a serious question. Is there a situation where you're nudging the snake with this very long stick, sturdy stick? Are any of those 4 venomous snakes the type that would turn and come at you?
So what I've come to learn, because I've caught...
I really know nothing about snakes other than
problem.
the movies Anaconda with J-Lo.
Right.
That's really all I know about snakes.
That would have scarred a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh, it did.
So a snake that had a bad experience with a person would tend to try to stand their ground and attack. So like if I robbed you one time and you saw somebody resembling me exhibiting the same attitude, you would be on the defense from the get-go because you would have had prior engagements with me. That is how they are as well. If a snake got away from a situation where it could have died by the hands of a human, it would tend to make babies with that knowledge because DNA passes on. You would have just learned of a new predator. Whereas a snake that has never seen a human would be more curious or has never had a bad interaction with a human would be curious and wary, but not on the defense, the aggressive side.
I mean, because I have no interest in waking up any snakes, but if I'm ever in this situation, I kind of want to know what are the chances that something's going to come turn and take a turn in my ass.
That's why I said a really long stick.
A really long stick.
A really long stick. Because the bush.
And if you can get around it without disturbing it, do
then
that.
that is the best option.
But once it scurries off, it's very unlikely that it will come back to that spot.
Not while you're there.
Not yeah, but that's what I mean.
Not while you're there, yeah.
Because
they
it's
would tend to, because you mean death. They
To them.
know, yeah.
Right.
They know that is.
That's their first thought
that's
anyway.
their first thought. You're bigger than me.
Or any predator. Do
any
they
predator.
feel that way about any predator? Like
They don't really have.
if an ocelot were to walk by,
An ocelot wouldn't do that.
wouldn't interfere with a
Wouldn't
snake.
interfere with a snake.
They don't eat
That's
snakes.
That. Yeah, that's
Okay.
that. They might scavenge a carcass, but they would not.
They're not hunting no
they
snake.
will not hunt a snake. This thing that hunts venomous snakes is the cribo, the musarana,
Which is-
a very powerful, endearing snake. Is
Oh, it's another snake.
yeah,
And we have them here.
and we have them here. We have 2 kinds.
Is it venomous?
It is venomous,
To us?
not to us,
But to other snakes.
Yep,
That's very interesting. Is it bigger than the other snakes?
it is way bigger.
So what's our biggest venomous snake?
The Bushmaster, the biggest, highly venomous
Yeah.
snake. That is, I believe, the 3rd longest venomous snake in the world,
And we have it here.
and we have it here.
Lovely.
Yeah,
So, but tell me more about this snake, killing snake.
the cribo. So this is a snake that is about as fat as my forearm when it's fully grown. It is jet black, but it gives off a nice blue hue when the sun hits. it is powerful. It is very self-aware and is very intelligent. And once threatened, it will stand and watch you face level. You could be 5 foot and he would stand and watch you and hiss and make noise, and he would not back down. He would not turn away. He will not run.
And I mean, is a snake that kills other snakes.
Eats other snakes.
But if it encountered a human and we interfered with it,
he will bite.
so he don't care, but he don't care about other people.
No,
about other bigger predators.
He does not.
And he's just, I guess, evolved an instinct. Is that just what he does?
Yeah,
what
he
that
will
he keeps saying
challenge.
what that type of snake does.
Exactly.
I'm sure that there's also female
It will challenge.
snakes as well,
It will challenge.
and it will stand up
It will
5
stand
feet
up.
in the air.
It will not care.
And how
Even if
long
you
is a
do that,
snake?
The
The snake could-
Cribo could get at least 9 feet, more than 9 feet.
What?
So imagine something that big challenging you. You would not want to get into it's scary.
But it's not going to chase me. Is it going to chase me? Or it could.
It could chase you a short distance to make sure that you are no longer
This
in the
is
vicinity.
nightmare fuel.
It really is.
I don't want a big, tall black snake that shines blue in the sun chasing me.
I've only seen one in my life in the village that I grew up. I was picking pimentos far in the forest, far, far, far. And the pimento field was surrounded by bamboo leaves. So bamboo stools and a lot of dried bamboo. And in the distance, I'm hearing shh, bamboo leaves rattling in a really unrealistic way because it's not like wind picking them up. So I averted my...
It's like somebody walking kind of thing.
Yeah, but you're not. It's not footsteps,
Right.
Because it's just one continuous whoosh you're hearing. And I stopped and I watched in the direction, and lo and behold, this snake that is longer than me. I was already 4 foot something. I was a teenager, and this huge snake coming gunning. I didn't even know we had this.
Towards you?
So in my direction, he didn't care. He was in pursuit of something.
Right.
And he's going, and I said, you know what? No, I'm done for the day. That's it. Because it's just me out here. I don't know the species of that snake in particular. I can't chance it. Because that thing is already longer than me. Fatter than my arm at the time. I couldn't chance it. I left.
And you just run.
Yeah, I dropped everything and I left. I was not as I am now,
Right.
where I would, and chase after it. I was like, I don't have enough information about this. I cannot confidently deal with this. So I left.
So, well, now I want to find out about this snakes chasing after people kind of thing. Because I kind of grew up with, I spent some time in South Florida.
Right.
Grew up some time in South Florida, spent some time in Trinidad. So I didn't come across a lot of snakes, but snake education was always fed to me because there's a chance I encounter a snake somewhere. And they always said, don't interfere with the snake. It will probably, if you were to poke it, it'll scurry off.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're telling me there's a snake that it does not give a shit about me, quite frankly.
Does not.
And so, but you would chase after that snake.
Of course.
Right. So, but then when it then decides, oh, this man's chasing me, let him know what time it is. What do you do in that situation when a snake, of course you are going after the snake. I wouldn't be going after the snake. The
Right.
snake will be coming after me. But what do I do besides run?
Run.
Am I
just-
faster than the snake?
You can be, depending on the terrain. But if if it's uphill, the snake will win. But his goal is more to scare you. So let me tell you something about venom on the whole. Venom is very hard to produce.
Because we're gonna get into venom and anti-venom and where to go if you're bit. Like we're
Well,
gonna
then
get
let's-
we're gonna get into
let's
that
deal
just
with
now.
that
We're gonna
after.
get
The Cribo's main thing is to get you out of his space. They are territorial. The bigger snake is, he roams in a wider arc, a wider circumference. So he would say that is his space. So other Cribos, unless it's time to mate, they would not come into that space.
Oh,
because-
they're not like
yeah,
they're not like group.
They're not communal.
Right, okay.
They're not.
Communal.
They would be here, and this is my area to feed and mate and whatsoever. Nobody else is to come here. And you're not supposed to be in the forest, one. We're not made for that. So he sees you as a threat to him, a threat to his potential mates.
And his
And-
nest if he's
and-
guarding one or whatever, or
anything.
kill or whatever the
Yeah.
case is.
So he would try to scare you. So there's a lot of theatrics, and because snakes are already a huge phobia, he knows that it would work. He might engage, he would strike, but he knows that his empty strikes is just a bunch of bluffing. If you do, however, continue to harass, he will get serious and he will actually attempt to bite you. Yeah.
Full on attack.
Full on attack.
And when a snake like that is like, if you are stupid enough, to interfere with a snake like that, and it is now attacking you. Besides, I mean, nobody's grabbing the head of a snake out of the air, to make sure. But what do you do?
So when a snake bites you, depending on the snake. So this
We could go venom now.
Yeah.
We could go venom now.
So if a venomous snake bite you, that's bad. That's horrible.
Right.
One of the four, right?
No, they say try to identify the snake.
That's the first thing you need to do, because antivenom is not a one-all, cure-all.
Right.
You have to get antivenom from the snake that bit you in order for it to work. So if the Mapapi...
The species,
yeah.
right.
So if the Mapapi balsane bit you, you need to get balsane venom,
Antivenom.
If the Xananan bites you, you need to get Xananan antivenom.
That's the Bushmaster.
Yeah. So also, Mapapi is just a Amerindian word for snake. That's not a species.
Okay, got it.
So furtherlands, if you are abroad, that is what, or Botrops atrox, that is the Mapapi balsane. Bushmaster is Lachesis muta, that's the scientific name.
Right.
So if you want to differentiate, because if you look at Guyana has a snake identical to the balsane, but it is Botrops, just not Botrops atrox.
Right. It's like a cousin,
It's
a close
like
cousin kind of
close
thing.
cousin.
Right.
And they also have Bushmasters as well, not the one that we have, because I believe there are 3 identified, recognized species.
And these Bushmasters are vipers.
Vipers, pit vipers.
Pit vipers. That's
So they see in heat.
That hunt in infrared.
Hunting infrared. So even a blind Bushmaster will hit you a direct, accurate bite.
Wow.
Because Bushmasters' eyes are very poor.
And they hunt solely on their
hunt
their
solely
sensors.
on scent and heat.
All right, you were talking about antivenom.
Right, antivenom. So if a venomous snake does bite you, you have to first identify the snake. 2, you have to cordon off the area. Pray that there's an extremity, because an extremity you could use a tourniquet and
kind of slow down the blood flow.
slow down the blood flow. You have to calm yourself down and get to Sangre Grande Hospital.
Sangre Grande Hospital.
Because there's no other hospital capable of administering antivenom other than Sangre Grande. The only other place in Trinidad that deals with antivenom is UE, and that's for studies.
Right.
So you can't go there, I got bit from a snake.
So don't get bit during high traffic hours.
Exactly.
Noted.
Yeah. Well, the ERHA ambulance, I had the privilege of being dropped to school in that a lot of times growing up in Granny Bear. They're very reliable.
Excellent.
Very reliable.
Good.
Very fast. So you will make it.
Right. And so you get to the Sangre Grande Hospital. They have as you said, the capabilities, the
Yes,
facilities
sir.
to deal with snake bites.
Yes. Sir.
Is it a situation where obviously time is a big factor in I guess symptoms, recovery, whatever the case may be, or fatality?
Well, that's a good question. So a few things to take into consideration. Your health. If you are very old or a child, you are more susceptible.
Yes.
If you already have underlying health conditions, you're just bringing it down. Your time is less and less. So snake venom, the symptoms is different between patients. What I can tell you is that the balsane venom is more necrotic. So your flesh gets
At the
affected.
site.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a painful bite. It swells. It's very painful. It's very grotesque. It will make you feel sorry for somebody if you were to see a snake bite in real.
Right.
And that's where the fear of snakes come from. The people that witness it firsthand, it's scary. It's not something you would wish on somebody. I've heard from a good friend of mine that he had somebody got bitten, and the swelling was so bad that when the doctor touched the area, the flesh ripped.
Wow.
It opened because it was under so much pressure. I've seen recoveries of snake bites. Somebody got bit on the calf, and that calf is literally non-existent because it would have destroyed the tissue, destroyed the muscle,
Wow.
destroyed the flesh. It's very painful. And on the other hand, the coral snake venom is not painful. You'll get bit, it will burn a little bit, but you will not feel that agony. But coral snake venom is more potent than viper venom.
Right. And
Way more potent.
and it's a neurotoxin, or is it one of the ones that affects the heart?
So I believe coral snake venom is neuro. It stops your nervous system. It stops your diaphragm.
Right. Okay. It affects the breathing side of
So
things.
Your everything shuts down. Organs shut down one by one, and then
And we have antivenom for all four.
We have antivenom.
Or for all four of the
thank God,
highly venomous snakes.
all four are the highly venomous.
The other snakes that aren't as venomous, what is the experience like potentially getting bit? Is it something that it's less of
It's
a...
nothing.
It's just
basically.
now you're just
It's
dealing with a
yeah.
bite of a
It's
bad
just a
bite of something.
Because I've had horsewhips bite me numerous times, and I did not know horsewhips were venomous until there was a day I was walking from the village of Montevideo back down to my village, Grand Riviere, and I was just having a leisurely stroll, and on a fence I saw this was the biggest horsewhip I've ever seen in my life. You know what a zanduli is?
Yeah.
Right. A horsewhip had a zanduli in its mouth, limp. And I was like, I stood there in awe because I was like, how did you catch that? I struggle to hold those things.
Right.
So how did you catch it? So I was like, I say, you have to be venomous because you can't constrict something so powerful. You have to be, and I research. And they really and truly are. But their venom only affects their prey items.
So it'd be like smaller bodied
So small
lizards and
lizards.
whatever.
They are an avid lizard hunter. They love anoles, yard lizards, that kind of stuff.
And I guess now I want to ask, it's like, how often you are in the bush plenty, as I'm more making a joke, but you're in the bush plenty. How often do you come across these snakes? Or is it something where you know where their territories are, so you can kind of get to you? If you wanted to see one, you could go and see one.
It's more of a hit or miss. I frequent places that I believe I can find them, near water sources, deep forest, miles in the bush. But like right now, I'm on the hunt for a bushmaster. I can't leave here now and 100% say that I'm going to
Gonna go and
find
see one.
Because there are people that spend their whole lives looking for this particular snake and they will never see it. And then you would see
In Trinidad or all over the world?
All over the world.
Right.
It's
Where else has this particular bushmaster?
Nowhere else. Look, the one that we have, because there's the black-headed, there is the one that we have, and then there is another one that I can't pronounce the name.
Right.
So there are 3 species that are recognized, I believe,
As bushmasters.
as bushmaster.
And there's one of them here
There's one of them here.
There's one that's all over the US.
No, not
No?
the US. In Costa Rica, I believe, and somewhere east.
So is the species that we have here, one of the only places that has this particular species of bushmaster?
Yeah, I believe Guyana has one very similar.
Right, you were
So
mentioning.
Guyana, Costa Rica, places surrounding the Amazon.
Right.
So yeah, those places have, because us and Venezuela actually have a lot of the same biodiversity.
Right.
A lot, because I believe we were once part of. Right.
Yeah, and
So
because when the sea levels rose, I think it's like 300 meters. And we're talking 12,000 years ago when
Right.
at the end of the last ice age.
Right.
And before the end of the last ice age, when the sea levels rose 1,000 feet, you could have easily walked from Trinidad to Venezuela.
Look at that, I didn't
Because
know
it was significant. Yeah, it was all land. And Trinidad and all the, like if you really, down the islands, all the islands down the islands,
Right, and
those are mountain
Shakari.
tops.
Right.
Those are mountaintops.
I did not know that.
Absolutely. All you have to do is look at the topography of the Caribbean, Trinidad, well, the Southern Caribbean, Trinidad, Venezuela, and these is all mountaintops. We are living on the tops, on the summits of the of mountains. If we drain the oceans, we will literally be on the tops of these mountains.
Yeah, I do know that because on the east is a huge fall off.
Right.
Like when you're free diving.
Correct.
And we do free diving. So
Correct.
There's a huge fall off. So I believe that. That is actually.
Yeah, if you look at
put that into perspective.
If you look at the topography, it's a tangent, but if you look at the topography of the United States, the east coast of the United States, but you look at the topography, there's like a wider outline. Like
Right.
the coastline used to be significantly more east.
Okay.
And you can actually see an outline, a big fat outline of the east coast of the United States.
Okay.
Yeah. So Trinidad is no different from that. But back to the snakes. I guess, I've actually learned a lot. I feel like I should have learned these things before I was 41, but that's I think I'm looking at snakes a little bit differently.
Well,
I didn't even know we had that many venomous snakes.
I didn't know that as well because the information wasn't readily available, especially in my time. My mom tried her very hardest to keep me away from snakes. She tried her best. I started off with lizards actually,
Right.
and then swamp eels, which we call zanji, and then it graduated into snakes. And funny enough, my great granddad used to mine mapapi.
Mine mapapi.
Mine them. My grandfather used to catch snakes. My grandfather is also the first man in Trinidad to swim from Tobago to Trinidad, Raymond Lacroix. Shout out, Grandpa.
Very cool.
And without me meeting these people or having a relationship with these people, I had the affinity for snakes.
Because I had to ask. That was like literally I should have asked this before, but how do you ask? I get it. We need people to be studying these things. That's awesome. I am actually all props to you to getting involved in that sort of field. But why snakes?
I remember the first time I saw Steve Owen on the TV, because a lot of what I know is from watching him. Steve Austin, Steve Owen, Jeff Cohen, these names. I never watched cartoons, and I would wait up for the most extreme on Animal Planet,
Yeah.
watch documentaries and read books. That's all I did. And the first time I saw him dealing with wildlife, I knew instantly that was what I wanted my life to be. I didn't care how, I didn't care where, I didn't care what. I was gonna make it happen. And being this ethnicity in this field was challenging. People used to call me white boy, used to call me crazy. I didn't have a lot of friends. But it turned from that to people realizing he's never going to change and we need to accept him. And then it changed from we hate snakes to we only hate the ones that could kill us. And then it turned from what you could tell me about this, I saw this and I can't wait to carry you where I saw it. So in the span of 10 years in my village, people went from killing every snake to only wanting to kill mapapi because their life were at risk.
Right. So the education, helped show people that it's not everything's a threat. Not everything's going to be scary. If you understand what you're doing, then things become
Exactly.
safer, better, etc.
So I know that I was put here to do this. I was never more sure about anything else in my life. I've never been more consistent with anything else in my life. So I really am happy that I had the foundation. Whether I knew or I didn't know, it was passed on to me. And I'm glad.
That's awesome. At the end of the day, I guess this is what I want. This is what I want the show to do. I want the show to just kind of amplify the voices and the fields that I guess don't get talked about all that much. But yeah, I would love to, Annie. I'd love to have you on. I was talking to one of my friends and I was telling him I was having you on, and he said, "Is he gonna have a snake with him?" I was like, "He's like, that'd be so cool." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure that'd be cool, but I don't want a snake in the studio for an hour." But next time, I think it would be cool if we kind of had our own version of what Steve Irwin and Jeff
Out
Cohen
in
and
the
those guys
wild.
do, where we could do it out in the wild, but you could also bring some animals here for us to take a look at. Have you ever seen? I actually meant to ask you this when you mentioned lizards. This is a total tangent again. The glow-in-the-dark lizard.
In Trinidad?
Yes.
So, funny enough, during the BioBlitz this year, which is an annual event held by the TTNFC, which is the Trinidad and Tobago Field Naturalist Club. So TTFNC.
Right.
Yeah. They would have found it at El Takuch, I
Very
believe.
cool. Very cool.
So that is basically a interspecies survey of a particular place that they would plan. So this year it was in Maracas,
Right.
Maracas Valley. So they found the golden tree frog. They
Very
found the
cool.
luminescent lizard.
Yes.
Saifuddin found it. Saifuddin Mohammed. Shout out to Saifuddin.
Nice.
So it brought together professionals and enthusiasts
Very cool.
to work together and build a foundation and light a fire, especially in the community, because after we did the survey, we found the animals, the community was able to come and see what we would have gathered and get an education on it. So it really helps. And I found out that this has been going on for either 12, 16, or 19 years. I can't remember
Very
how
cool.
long it's been in existence, but it does benefit because you see how much has changed. You see what the levels of each animal, so you will know, all right, I found 5 of this within the last mile. This species is doing great.
Right.
I found 1 in the, because it's a 24-hour thing. You are literally going out collecting samples day and night until, and then the next day you kind of show people what you found.
That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, just to go back to the closing remarks, I guess, we'll definitely do this again. I think that if you brought some species of different things here, whether it's frogs or lizards or snakes, unfortunately, I think it'll be pretty cool. And of course, we can do something outside. I'm sure Cameron, I mentioned the same thing when we did the Alan Charles. We had Alan Charles on, Trini Surfer, and we said with him, he'll take us on a hike and we'll do a podcast episode up in, I don't know, one of them, water steps or 3 pools or one of those places. But
No problem.
Oneil, fantastic to have you on. And thank you for doing what you do, because we definitely need, more people, like you had mentioned, some of the other colleagues, enthusiasts, and professionals in the field. But thank you very, very much for coming on and sharing your stuff.
Thank you, and I would like to thank you, because without people like you, people like me have no voice. Without you doing what you do, I can't have the forum to tell people what I do. So without you, there can't be me.
Well, of course, we appreciate that. But before you leave, let everybody know where they could follow you again one last time.
All right, so you can find me on TikTok at Snake Whisperer TT and on Instagram. I made it very easy for you to find me.
Snake Whisperer TT.
Yes, sir.
Oneil, thank you very, very much again.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers.